About the same time, New Orleans musicians began to hear the blues.
Lord, I'm going down and live down here.
A steady stream of refugees from the Mississippi Delta was now pouring into New Orleans, in flight from Jim Crow laws. People for whom laboring on the city docks promised a better life than any they could hope to have back home chopping cotton or cutting cane for someone else's profit. The blues was part of their baggage.
Lord, sometime I wonder what's going on.
The blues is about sculpting meaning out of a situation that seems to defy your being able to find meaning in it. Black people, since the end of the Civil War, searching for an aesthetic.
Lord, sometime I wanna be.
They're searching for an aesthetic that will free them of minstrelsy, freedom of the burden of minstrelsy, freedom of the degradation of minstrelsy. What emerges from that is a form called the blues. It's a very useful form. It's elastic. You can do a lot with it because it's simple.
If the river was whiskey, baby, like
The blues is an utterly American form, built on just 3 chords, most often arranged in 12-bar sequences called choruses, that allows for an infinite number of variations.
Lord, the river was whiskey.
And it's a form that in order for you to really be able to pull it off well, involves more than just technique. You have to have a certain kind of feeling with it.
Lord, I would dive on the bottom.
So you create this kind of basic language through which and on which they can construct all kinds of things.
You have to have that blues. It's like the roux in a gumbo. If you don't have roux, you don't have gumbo. Now, you might have a soup, and it might be killing. But if you don't have that roux, you cannot have no gumbo.
Word, my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, what shall I do today?
The blues was the profane twin of the sacred music of the Black Baptist Church, filled with call and response, shouts, moans, exhortations, and signifying.
Tell Jesus, oh my Lord, shall I do today?
One was praying to God, and the other was praying to what's human, a New Orleans musician said. One was saying, "Oh God, let me go," and the other was saying, "Oh mister, let me be."
There was a big difference between having the blues and playing the blues. Because playing the blues was a matter of getting rid of the blues. The lyrics may have been tragic in their orientation, but the music was about having a good time. So the music was really a matter of stomping the blues away.
The blues could be about anything. A beautiful woman, a mean boss, the devil himself.
What you gonna do when your trouble get like mine?
But they were always intensely personal, meant to make the listener feel better, not worse.
Gonna stand in rain, gonna wring my hands and cry.
And each performer was expected to tell a story.
Little woman, she won't do nothing, she said.
When we sing the blues, we're singing out our feelings.
What you want with her?
Maybe we're hurt and just can't answer back.
She said.
Then we sing or maybe even hum the blues. Yes, to us, the blues are sacred.
Rolling out tomorrow, cried the whole night long.
When I sing, what I'm doing is letting my soul sing out.
Rolling out tomorrow, cried the whole night long.
The blues are about freedom. The blues are about freedom. You know, there's liberation in reality. And when they talk about these songs, when they talk about being sad, the fact that you recognize that which pains you is a very freeing and liberating experience. It's just, it must be strange for other cultures where you spend most of your time trying to pretend like you don't have any of these problems, any of these, situations. When I hear the blues makes me smile.
Blues came along and said, now, our honest experience is nothing like Old Black Joe. But at the same time, out of our own resources, we can make a life. The lyrics that said, I'm gonna lay my head on some lonesome railroad track, and when the train come along, I'm gonna snatch my damn head back.
In New Orleans, musicians would find a way to deepen the message of the blues by playing it on their horns.
You have musicians playing their horns. They have all these instruments that are left over from the Civil War. The military instruments, and the trumpets are played in a militaristic style. Bum, 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 bum. Then all of a sudden, instead of playing in a straight military style of a hymn or a beautiful melody, now they're imitating the sound of the people in the church singing. They have the vibrato at the end of the note. They're shaking notes. It's a do, dee, dee, bo, dee, loo, dee. Then the music gets another power and feeling. In the way that profound things almost always happen, a thing and the opposite of that thing are mashed together. Now you have the people getting the spiritual sound of the church, and they also are getting that secular sound of the blues. And the musicians who could understand both of those things and put both of them in their horn side by side so they could represent that angel and that devil, that was the ones that could play.
Over the next century, the blues would become the underground aquifer that would feed all the streams of American music, including jazz.